Good afternoon, James.
Good afternoon.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so
But you look,
I look.
you look fresh. You look fresh. Yeah.
Do you notice I don't have glasses?
Yeah, I have noticed, and you also look young.
Oh God, I wish I felt young. Anyhow, so
Yeah.
James, we've been together for quite a few years now, and when I first met you, you were visiting Barnabas, who had hosted me there to start my sharing of the Matrix work in Kibera with some of the schools there, his being one, and you and your then girlfriend Cynthia had stopped in, who's now your wife, right? Of how many years
Yes.
have you
Yeah.
been married now? How many years?
Um. Uh, this is now our our fifth year.
Fifth year, really?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So on October 31st, 2020 will be our fifth year.
Fifth year, right, right. And so
Yeah.
I've known you for 5 years, more than 5 years then. So,
Yes. Yeah.
and you became somewhat involved with the process of the Matrix, and together you and I traveled to a couple of different places the second time I came, and I actually had the wonderful opportunity of spending a month with you and Cynthia and living together with you, which was wonderful. I want to just talk a little bit about, first of all, the connection that brought us together and the work that you're doing in youth through Lifesong, and some about the opportunities we had when we went to the school, and the work that you did there, and particularly also with the youth in the prisons, because I think that's huge. Will you tell us a
Mm,
little bit about that?
about our work in prison.
Well, yeah, a little bit about Lifesong. How did it come to
Ah.
be? And then, because when we got together with Lifesong and you and I, it was more about reading the books to the kids and Mr. Buttons and that kind of stuff. And you've really progressed into even more. So just a little
Yeah.
bit. Let people know a little bit about the flow of what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. So currently, Lifesong empowers at-risk male teens who are in conflict with the law, and so part of these boys are in a juvenile prison, and then the others are still in school, in informal school. So right now, we have the program in the prison and also in two schools. Yeah. So Lifesong initially, when it started, actually it was not an organization. So it just started with me just going to school because I had time. As in, I used to go to schools as a TV producer. So I'll meet. So that is back in 2008. So I'll go to schools, meet the children, and so back then we were recording a TV program, and so I realized and I discovered that the boys, mostly the boys, most of them didn't know what they wanted out of life, and also most of them were focusing on the things that I used to focus on when I was growing up. That is what they lacked, as in the things that they lacked, as opposed to what they had like in their heart. So in 2012, I got to learn about boys who were in prison. So again, when I went and met the boys, I just saw myself at their age, and so I began meeting them every Friday on my off day. But 6 months later, I decided to quit my job because I was given a choice between meeting the boys in prison and working as a TV producer. So, and because I was not giving them much, I was just giving them my time, and I was doing it during my off day. I decided to, yeah, let me just quit. So I quit, and then and then so I didn't have resources. So mostly I would go to prison. Sometimes I would walk to prison, and then now I had batons, and so I would sew buttons for the boys. I would tell the officers, I don't have anything to give, but I have buttons. So if the boys need buttons, I can sew buttons for them. And so the most strangest thing was that now the boys did not have, wait a minute for the car. There's a vehicle passing, so yeah. And so the good thing with the buttons is that most of the boys did not have like spare clothes, and so I'll sew the buttons on them like just when they are wearing their shirts, and then now I'll be talking to them. It was a very good thing because now I would like have one-on-one. Because most programs you find that now it's like you're working with a group of children, and then you are talking to them as a group. But now sewing buttons for them like taught me that every boy is an individual, and so it taught me also now to like just give time to the boys. And so for me, it taught me also now not to work with a big group, but just work with 15 to 20 boys. So if it's a big number, 20 boys. An ideal number is 10 boys. So if I'm working with 10 boys, then now it gives me now more time to give them like now individualized. And also, chances are, if I'm very careful, chances are I'll know their names individually. I'll know where they're coming from, as opposed to if I'm working with 100 boys. I mean, there's so many classes that we went with you, and we went as in the classes were very huge, and then now you see that like a teacher has like 50 to 100 children, and so there's no way whereby this teacher will ever know all these children. So what will happen is he or she may end up knowing just 5 of them, as in the top 5, the ones who are doing well in class. So the ones who are not doing well, they will never know them. And so for me, the buttons actually for me, it was a blessing in disguise. So I still sew buttons. I've never stopped doing it. But for me, it is very special because it taught me a lot. The other thing also is it taught me also to make do with the resources that you have. Of course, I know that our program, even in the prison, we need like a lot of money. However, we've been using what we have because as a result of the lessons that I learned using the buttons. So for us, the buttons were just like a very big blessing to this guy. So Lifesong has grown from an organization as in where I was using, first it was reading, then later on sewing buttons. And then now also later on also I decided now also to start cycling so that I can raise funding. So, so
And what is behind you right now, James?
There's a track.
No, behind you.
Oh, this.
Yeah, what's that?
Oh, this is a shop.
This is your shop. What is it there for?
Okay, so the shop is meant to generate income for our program. And I'm actually selling sweets, Gani. Hiyo ni 5. Nataka ngapi? 2. So I'm actually selling.
And that's good, because I want people to understand and to see, James,
So
that the matrix and NGGE and what our work is not to come in and do for you, but to help connect the wheel together and to develop the resources and to help and empower the others to do for themselves. Because we know if we do for others and they don't do for themselves, they just sit back and let everybody do for them. If you know, you are such a good example of, you know, using, as you said, we don't have a lot. And I know, I lived with you, I've watched, I know, and how much you use what is there, you know. And how creative. Sewing, and I love the sewing the buttons. I think that's beautiful. And I think we should do something just about sewing buttons.
Yes.
You and I will do something special about that, because I think that's critical to people starting to see each other. You know, if disintegrations of the families and communities. And even when families are together, they don't see or communicate with each other anymore, at least not in the US. And you know why? Because
Mhm.
they're
Yeah,
all
yeah.
on their phones, sitting at a
Even
table
here,
together
actually,
having dinner, all here like
even,
this.
even
Where's
here,
communication happening?
even here,
And even there, even there.
even
When
here,
in fact,
you see,
this is a resource and a tool that can help you move forward and
hmm,
solve problems, but it's being used to cut us off.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And so
So,
I just don't want to stop. And the other thing that I wanted to point out in what you were saying, and very evident in when I was there with you, was the importance to family connecting to who you're working with. I know you have gone out of your way to get
mm,
family re-involved with the kids or the kids with the family. And you have traveled by walking and by bicycle many miles, many miles.
mm, mm,
Your dedication to um, what you're doing is so
mm,
obvious.
mm.
And
Thank you.
I want people to see that what you are doing is in fact the matrix and the wheel. Just as the bicycle wheel on your cycle is moving you all over the area, we hope the matrix wheel will move
Yeah.
everybody too. So, um,
Mm,
what do you think, or how do you think, because we've been together a long time, what changes do we have to start making within probably ourselves and within society to start putting this wheel back together again?
I think I think for me, okay, for me personally, I think that every person has something that they're very passionate about. Could be it's music or writing, as in the things that comes very easily to someone. The things that, let's say, if everything was taken away from you, maybe your car, your house, maybe, yeah, as in something that you have. So for me it's just writing. As in for me it's writing, and so uh, I've come to discover that now when you focus on that one thing that you have, something that comes to you very naturally, and you focus on developing it, uh, you have high chances of living a very happy life. I mean, for me and my okay, for me and my wife, we are leading very happy lives and very fulfilled lives. And so most of the time, I don't have like enough money. Sometimes every money that I get, I take it into the prison program, because the prison program has grown from, okay, from being a 1 day thing now to from Monday to Friday every week. And also now, if you add on top of now, let's say going to meet parents, going to police officers, going to meet the people that the boys have wronged, then you find that we are really spending like a lot of money. And so if say every month I get like around $300, okay, from some work that I do, okay, to a friend of mine, I work for her, and then I earn $300. And so, and most of the time I remain with like $20, as in like to myself.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and I can't buy clothes, and even the watch that I have, actually, were it not for Cynthia like forcing me to buy something for myself, I will not be having anything. However, what keeps
And
me
Cynthia
going?
works as well, doesn't she?
Yeah, yeah, she works. Actually, she's the one who pays for the house rent. So it's a funny thing, actually. But for me, the point that I'm trying to make is this: that when we use what we have, the things that naturally comes to us, to make a difference in the world, and then now it rubs off to like another person. Because I've come to discover that when we were cycling, the other people who are asking why, okay, like, why are you really cycling? Then I tell them, we're cycling because of boys who are in prison. And so it touches some of them, it touches them. Some of them just say, wait a minute, from now on I'm going to give my children, like, as in when I'm home, I'm going to give them my full attention. As in, I'm going to ask, where were you? What have you been doing in school? Who are your friends? And then also now when you are eating, there's no gadgets. I think there are times that we've tried doing this in our house. So as in, when you're eating dinner, we switch off our TV so that we can talk, so that we can really connect with each other. And then another thing that we do, as in, we've connected our phones in such a way that if you're calling one of us and you miss one of us, the phone will go to the other person. And so for me, and then also now, like the matrix. So for me, it's just like, just brings everything together, because we are meant to share whatever we have. We are meant to share. You really don't have, like, now to have like millions to start sharing. As in, the little that you have, your time. So what I would say to even parents out there, most of the parents, you find that they're the ones who have bought these gadgets. They're the ones who are paying the electricity bill. They're the ones who are paying even mortgage or rent, or even the car. So for me, I will say, grab those gadgets, get them off from the hands of your children, because perhaps what I'm very sure about, that most of these parents, when they were growing up, they never had these gadgets. I am very sure they never even had internet. So how comes, why are they like allowing children to take full control of them? The parents should be in full control. So, because for me, what I'm learning, actually, even in the prison, we are learning that most of these boys, you find that, like, their parents, uh, like, these boys come maybe with, like a new pair of sneakers. The father or the mother will never ask. So it starts from a very young age, as in, it starts from when it's a very small child, as in, they come they come with toys that you didn't buy for them, and then you just keep quiet. Like, you don't even ask, where did you get these toys? I've never bought you these toys. And then you make sure the toys are returned to the owner. The next time they come back with maybe colored pencils, they come back with a pen, with a storybook. They come back with money. So before you know it, your son or your daughter will graduate now into bigger things, like someone's iPhone, uh, someone's iPad, someone's new pair of sneakers, and so we find that these boys, their parents don't ask. Their parents also, like, don't set like a curfew, like saying, in my house you should come back at 5 p.m. You are in the house. As if they never do that. And also, they don't even teach the children also to be grateful for what they have, to appreciate what they have. They don't teach their children to say, I am sorry, I am thankful, excuse me. As in, so you find that these children, they become like criminals. And who is to blame? Not the system, the parents themselves.
I don't
The
think it's
parents,
necessarily the parents, though. I think
and
it's the whole evolution of issues and problems,
I
and
know, yeah,
that's why, as I said, um,
yeah,
we do have that disconnect between
yeah,
family and the learner, but I think we create this in so many ways, certainly economically, but we also should remember that most of the parents who have the children in school, the kids, even if they're not paying great attention, are gaining more skills and understanding of things than the parents have. They are learning English and they're learning different things that the parents never had exposure to. So
yeah,
many
yeah.
ways. So they're kind of being also left out from that learning wheel of being able to grow and learn and understand more too,
Mm,
in a sense. So if we connect
yeah.
the wheel if we connect them in a better and more positive way, and begin,
Mm,
as you say, not to necessarily say it's your fault, but to start asking questions to them,
yeah,
which I have done with huge groups of families and parents, to just start asking
yeah,
questions. And is what is happening around them working, and are they happy with it? And most of them will say no. Well, that's fine, but now you have to start asking about, well, how come and what's going on and why? Because,
Mhm,
you know,
mhm.
putting blame on others doesn't fix the wheel,
Yeah,
doesn't mend that wheel,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so I think you're right.
Yeah. So
But again,
okay.
where are what's happening with most of the parents? You know that the the whole piece of being around and home and together, where they're all scattered out and working all over the place and doing um, hours of, you know, and I can't explain to others the what I see when I travel to Africa and to India, the hard labor and work that the people and the families put in, and the hours of work, and for such little bit, you know, that it's incredible. It's incredible. I'm always just
Mm,
amazed by the
yeah.
strength of the people, the
Mm,
resilience that they have shown, and but also, you know, to try now and bring each other, to bring us all back, to bring us all back. And I think the parents and the families, that's only one piece, one
oh,
piece.
nimekuwa
Um,
niko hapa. Mm, mm, yeah.
so
Uh,
anyhow,
mm,
I really want to thank you, because you have brought out some key and critical pieces to not only why we as a whole want to move forward,
mm,
but but
yes.
some
Mm,
but some suggestions about how we could start to move forward,
yeah.
by seeing your example. But you know, the other thing that I heard that I went, oh my gosh, was that your prison program now is there 5 days a week.
Yeah, it's 5 days a week. Yeah. So,
Do you remember when we went and visited there? And we were
yeah. Back
talking
then
with
it
them
was just
about trying to get the program to come in just for an hour a week or something like that.
yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And like it was, I'm just like, wow,
Mm,
that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
yeah. That was in 2017.
2 years from when I was
Yeah.
there. No, I'm trying to think, 2015, 15, 16, that I was there in the prison with you. I have to think.
No, we were there in 2017 because that is when I went to introduce the program, and I remember actually, the most funniest thing is that there are so many programs that are well funded, yet they don't go to prison like the way we are going to prison.
I know.
As in for
I know.
us, yeah, for us it's like we've become prisoners ourselves, because I really wanted to discover exactly what's going on, and where the real problem is, so that now when I go to school, I know how to exactly like intervene, because most of these boys, they dropped out of school like a long time ago, and then also most of them also like have like they have issues, especially to do with fatherhood, like fatherhood issues, as in their fathers who are present but absent at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. How are you? You're fine. How is school? Oh, okay. So come see me tomorrow at 3. Asubuhi asubuhi naenda mahali. Come at 3. You know my house? You will ask at the gate. Okay, sawa. Okay, see you tomorrow. Yeah. So I have actually that's my client.
You know, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited about having the opportunity to share this video out, because
Oh,
I know that I
oh,
know that
where
when you, when you start looking at kids, not telling the kids why they're there, but what
Mm,
you do, looking at and understanding and helping them to understand, and that whole piece that we I know even before you were there for a week, the return rate of the kids that you were working with was like
mm,
minimal to the return rate of all of the other ones that were going in there to counsel and work with those kids.
mm, yeah, yeah. So,
So
so,
so there's
mm,
also something to be said about that whole concept, that all of these different organizations that are involved within this prison system working with these kids have huge return
yeah, yeah,
rates.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You don't have a huge return rate.
No, and I think the reason being because we just want to like work with individuals, as in actually for me it will be good for us to like work with 100 boys or 1,000 boys in a year, but trust me, that won't even make sense. So for us, we're just targeting like 5 boys. We're targeting only only 5 boys, and so what that means is for every 4 months we have the opportunity to work with only 20 boys. But now you find that now like last year we worked with around 100 boys for the whole year. But now we are in full contact with 5 boys, and so one of them actually decided to go back to school. So right now he's in high school. The other one also decided now to join to join masonry. So, and then the other one decided now to go back home so that he can stay with the grandmother. And so actually we can account like for 5 boys. And because we were able to like now visit with their families, uh, have a meal with their families, stay with their as in really like understand. And then also now letting the fathers know that it is your responsibility to know, as in to know where where your children are, where your wife is, where your wife is getting money, and if your son comes back with something that you've not bought them, then now you actually find out where it is from. Then take your son and go with him where he got it from, and then return it. Just tell them, by the way, as in I think we just want to return this because he has not earned it, as in so that yeah. And
So,
so now
so
so
you're
now
consulting,
so
you're consulting and working with the families as well as with, and in a sense with the communities too, you
and
know, and
yeah,
the
and also
educators.
and
See, you're working in all pieces, all of the pieces. You're really working in all of those pieces and trying to
and
reconnect.
also yeah, and also going to court also, because now so actually it has made us now learn a lot of things, because now if say there's a boy whose court case we are following up. I remember there's this one boy, his name is Teddy. So I remember when we went to visit the father, and so the father did not want to come to prison, but I shared with him and I told him that when I was growing up, there's a man who really sowed into my life. And so for me, I'm just giving back to the community by now coming to your house to let you know that even though your son did wrong, he needs you. And the most shocking thing is that the old man that I was talking about is actually a father to this man. Can you imagine? The old man that like mentored me when I was like a small boy. So when this man realized that I was talking about his dad, he decided to come to prison. So I went with him to prison, and then I was able to meet the police officer who had arrested this boy, and the police officer was able to tell me that actually the crime that this boy is in for is not the crime that he had committed. And so and then so I was also able to meet the person that this boy had wronged. And so we were able to sit down, and so we decided that okay, so the person who had been wronged by the boy decided to withdraw the case. And so this boy was able to go home much earlier than he would have done had we not intervened. So all these things happened because I was able to like just go meet the police officer, meet the father, and meet the person who had been wronged by this boy. And so we were able to sit and then so there's so many good things that are happening, and they're happening because we decided to now make our program now to be like more or less one-on-one. As in, we just want to find out what exactly is going on with you, what exactly is happening in your life. And then also making the boy also understand that whatever you have, you have a lot going on for you, but you will not realize this unless you focus on the one good thing that you're able to do, that you can do with the little amount of effort or even money, as in something that you can do. And so this boy is actually, what I've come to realize is that I think by the end of this year we'll be having like a lot of boys who are becoming now our own ambassadors, as
Yes.
in who are on to tell the boys, by the way, this is what I learned in prison. And so with the time we'll find that now the boys who are coming now to prison, especially from where these boys are going back to, will be fewer and fewer, as opposed to because I discovered that now as in, for us, we're just telling them that you have something going on for you, as in we are not focusing on the crime that you committed. We're just focusing on you have something going on for you, as you have treasure within you. So use this treasure to be a better person. Treat your mom or dad in a good way, like your siblings and your neighbors. And also now look at girls now, not as objects, but as treasure that you should like protect. And so when we share this with these boys, and then also the difference now with our program also is that the boys are able to see, as it was now when they realize that, like we cycled in December to raise funding for work in prison, then they are like, oh, as in you guys are sacrificing, as opposed to, as in this, it completely changes their lives. And also we are very vulnerable to them, as in we share with them. So if there's something that if I teach them to maybe be helpful in the house, and then maybe I don't do that in the house, I'll just tell them, by the way, listen, whatever I'm sharing with you right now, I'm not doing it in my, as in like for my wife and in my house. But I can guarantee you and I can promise you that I'm going to try and do now what I'm teaching you right now in the house now. Because it's like I'm learning, as in I'm learning with you. So it's like whatever I'm sharing, I'm also learning with you. So we are journeying together. I am not an expert coming to share. I'm not an expert coming to share with you. We are traveling, as in journeying together. So we are teaching each other. And so when they see that I'm vulnerable to them, when they see that when they come out of prison also, we invite them also to our house. They come to our house, they can even sleep over. So one of the scariest things that I've ever done is so when one of these boys came to our house, so I was debating, do I leave the key at the door, or do I lock and then now stay with the key in our bedroom? Then I was like, no, wait a minute, let me just leave the key at the door. So I did not know that this boy was noticing what I was doing. So much later, he was just telling me that, as in when I first slept in your house, you guys just gave me the freedom, and you are not even scared of what will have happened at night. So for me, I've come to discover that the more we open our hearts, because these boys actually, they usually know and they can tell someone who's not genuine. They can tell. If you just come to talk to them and you are not genuine, they'll tell that you're not genuine. So it starts from your heart. So once you are open and you open your arms, because we work with vulnerable groups. And so they're able to tell that this person, they're genuinely interested in my life. And so for me, and also so for me also, what the metrics also like taught me is just to like teach these boys to give back to the community, letting them know, by the way, as in you coming to the prison, it's the opportunity for you to learn something new. So whatever you learned right now, take notes, take good notes of them, take notes, write them down, and then when you go back home now, teach your siblings, teach your friends, and teach your peers, and then so now, then we are able now to spread it.
Yes.
And yeah, so for me, I can say that our lack of resources has taught us a lot of things. As it has taught us that when we reach a point now whereby now we have the resources and we have the funding, we'll still keep it very small. As in, it's not about the huge numbers. As in, I know the world is very obsessed. As in, how many people are you reaching within a month? People are obsessed with like 1,000, but for us, it's only like in the school we are working only with 50 boys. That's our focus. In prison, 20 boys for every 4 months, 20 boys. Yeah, and then also most of the time actually what happens actually, the boys usually they drop out of our classes, so we remain with 10 to 15, so which is a very good number for us. That's a very good number for us, because if we have huge numbers, we will not give them a personalized attention.
James, do you really feel that you've only reached a few children or a few people when you talk about your numbers? Well, we can only do this many and we can only do that many. Or do you
No,
think,
in the long run,
yeah,
we've reached much more
much,
than we have reached. Yeah, because what I've come to realize, if you have like say a class of 100 children, and then now you'll find that 97 of them are a distraction to the 3 that you are focusing on. Because and then so now you also will get very overwhelmed. But now when you have now like a smaller number now, then now you will give quality, you will give of yourself the best that you can ever give. And so and then now so now this smaller number now will be able now when the maybe now when they go back home, they're able now to share with the 97 ones that will have been in your class. And so
yeah.
I've come, so I've come to realize that this ripple effect, as in the long run, we are reaching like more and more and more and more.
And in a sense, isn't that really what we're trying to do, is to wave things out,
Yes.
but through
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
whole give back, the whole give back.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
even though you're just one person with this program, what you're doing and how you're doing it can become a model and an example for so many other people to be able to learn and understand and do. You know,
Yeah.
uh, I think in general, the whole process and the growth that you've gone through and how you're working with the young men in jail, and what it's doing and outside of the
Yeah.
jail as well is
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
I wish people would start to look at. Okay, look at
Mm.
and
Mm.
to start to
Actually,
follow as well.
yeah. Actually wanted to point out that that when I was going, as in back way back when you were meeting us, when you were meeting like Cynthia and as in I used to be the only one who was singing, as in the live song. I was the only one who was singing the song, but then Cynthia joined, and then now along the way, actually now what is now like enabling us now to like be in prison from Monday to Friday is that there's another young, actually there are 2 young men that had been watching me, so they decided to just take the leap and just come on board with what they have, and so now it's the 3 of us. But now you find that now it started with one person, and then again now the other people also who like okay, like support our work on a monthly basis. Because I remember in 2018 we were able to have people who helped us like actually we were able to raise almost 500,000, as in like as in throughout the year. And also last year we were able to, I think, around 400,000. And so you find that now little by little, there are people who are also now have been watching, and then now they're just coming forward and saying and asking, by the way, how can I be part of this?
Yes,
Can I be
and
part
that's
of it?
exactly what we want to try and do. How can we be part of this? Because we really are part of it together. But you know,
Yeah, yeah.
now we can really focus and join together. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I want to first of all thank you for telling and talking so openly about what you've been doing.